the Richmond Spiders head coach, Chris Mooney, as well as Mike Waltz. And, well, before we get to anything,
Where's your suit, man?
Stop. Come on.
Where's your suit?
Left it behind.
Come on.
It's a new fashion statement, actually.
I saw this guy. I felt I was heading in the hotel last night, and you must have been grinding in class, practice, whatever. Not yesterday. You had a big day. Got in very late last night, and you didn't have anything with you. What happened?
I was so prepared, minus all the clothing that I needed for today. It was a shame. I brought my best suit, monogrammed,
And
brought my uniform.
Right.
I was trying to outdress Coach. That's something I aspire to do.
Although this jacket, you have the Richmond color. I mean, you've been head coach since 2005. So, but you've got the color scheme down to a T, Coach.
You have to. You know what I mean? You really have to, especially since ties have gone out of style to a certain degree. Although I saw you with a tie on Football Night in America.
Thank you very much.
Sharp.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Well, he went from Football Night in America straight to here just so we could see you.
Absolutely.
It's great.
One of the first guests I ever had on this network, we did a great interview where we talked about when you were having a terrific season and then showed up to the NCAA tournament and made noise there, taking down the Iowa Hawkeyes. But, it is year 50 of the Atlantic 10, and you've been the head coach at Richmond 2 decades. When you think about this league and in this ever-changing wild climate of college basketball, its place at the table still and the pageantry and turning on Selection Sunday and seeing that Atlantic 10 championship game on CBS, how would you describe it in your time in this conference?
Yeah, I think the league is incredible. I grew up in Philadelphia where the league was headquartered and so many teams, Temple, St. Joe's, later LaSalle. So I've grown up with the Atlantic 10, love the conference, and it's I think we're very proud to be part of the conference at Richmond. And I think everyone is working so hard because it's such a changing time in college basketball, college sports. Everyone is working as hard as we possibly can to, retain our position among the very best in the country. And that's a tall order as these bigger conferences not only grow by adding schools, but also grow in terms of their financial dominance. But we're working very hard to do that. And I think Bernadette on down, we're all trying to put ourselves in the very best position to be among the nation's elite.
So you mentioned you're from Philadelphia. He's an Eagles fan.
Yep.
What did you do to celebrate the Super Bowl win?
So we watched it with my 2 boys. So I've taken my boys up to a game each year the last few years, and we are big Eagles fans. We watched the game at home because the Eagles were in it. We stayed at home just to make sure. Was it 30-7 at half or something like that?
Yeah, it was over.
Yeah. So we just really enjoyed it, and it's not so much the night you win the Super Bowl, Mike. It's the year that you have afterwards to have, the Eagles, as we call them, to be champs is really just great for pride.
So why is he rubbing that in, Mike?
I'm on my way to becoming an Eagles fan. I'm trying to be indoctrinated.
Who have you been a fan of?
I grew up in Atlanta, so it was kind of the Falcons.
Oh, so a different bird who 30-7 lead would not be safe with.
Doesn't win as much. Yes,
Mike, it's okay. I'm a Browns fan, so you really. What's that?
We all feel bad for you.
Thank you. I appreciate your thoughts and prayers. Let's talk a little bit of basketball because I think that this is, folks. This to me and to us is the best part about this sport when a player says this. You made a comment last week saying, I felt like I owed it to the school to repay what they trusted me with as to why you are a fourth-year senior who's never transferred. I know how much you appreciate that. We'll get to that in a second. We don't hear players talk about that, about not often anyways. What does this place mean to you, and what did you mean when you said those comments?
Well, Richmond took me in when I was an 18-year-old kid with no idea with what I was going to do in my life. All I know is that basketball was important, family was important, academics were important, culture and community that Coach Mooney preached to me in the recruitment process was important to me. And I just saw myself grow so much over these past couple of years, learning under great basketball centers. Grant Golden has come back. TJ Klein's come back. Neil Quinn's been around. Matt Grace, who hit the amazing shot against Davidson, or the little drop step, to send us to March Madness. Just all these moments and all these people that have come together and made this place remarkable and unforgettable, and a place I'll always call home. And so when the time came after the season, people were asking, hey, what are you going to do? Like, what's going on? It was never a question. It was Coach Mooney trusted me when I was an 18-year-old kid. I want to trust him with my senior season, and I trust what this program can do.
Wow.
What does it
Wow.
mean to you when you hear that?
It's extraordinary. And I think that obviously it's becoming more extraordinary by the year. And, I remember recruiting Mike and, obviously being so impressed with him as a young man and the things that we thought he would be able to do. He's very active on campus. He's a tremendous kid. He takes the responsibility of being a leader very, very seriously and personally. I feel like, where that obviously Mike can articulate it very impressively. And that used to be a little bit more, maybe not the norm in college basketball in the last 20 years, but a little bit more people were striving for, hoping to strive for. And for now, Mike is very much the exception. And, for him to say those things about Richmond makes us all feel great.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that you say that, because there's a guy that I coached Little League baseball with who played on one of Coach Mooney's first teams at Arcadia University way back in the day. And what he said was, I could tell you stories of the things that he could not be able to pull off anymore. Do you see any of that still? Does Mad Dog Mooney come out at all?
Of course. Old habits never die. Can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Never die.
Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Winning is winning. Everybody wants to win. Coach Mooney is one of the fiercest competitors I've ever met, especially as a coach. And I trust that if he's getting fired up about something, we all should be getting fired up about something. I trust his judgment, and I trust his passion and energy.
That's a good answer right there.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's got your back.
One of the things, not just about not just you back, but Mikkel Tyne coming back to this program after the year that he had last year. How excited are you for what's in store for this season? What does he mean to this group?
He means a lot. Mikkel is an extremely, extremely hard worker. He's in the gym constantly. He's a very gifted athlete, and he's really worked very, very hard. I mean, he's gotten a lot of attention from the coaches. We're just trying to help him just develop his pace and sense for the game and where he can have an impact. He's so quick and fast and powerful that sometimes we feel like he gets sped up a little bit, and just trying to help him become a player who is keeping the other teams off balance. But Mikkel, I hope he's sitting here next year as a fourth-year senior, as he's been in our program for 3 years now, and has the same makeup of the great players that we've had in the past. And we hope that he can finish his career at Richmond with 2 great seasons.
So the guy I'm really curious to see with you this season is Jaden Daughtry, right? I think he averaged, was it 27 points per 40 minutes last year? It was like 12 and a half points and didn't even play 20 minutes a game. How can you get that out of him? And I'm assuming if you're scoring like that and you're only playing 19 minutes, there's probably issues on the defensive end of the floor that made it so he only played 19 minutes. Where have you seen him improve?
Yeah, I think stamina is probably something that we're working really hard on. He's a really hard worker, energetic person. He's from Richmond originally. Mm-hmm. So yeah, his stats were off the charts. I think that was the first thing I said is, wow, how many points in 19 minutes. And then why did he only play 19 minutes? But Jaden is a guy who brings tremendous energy and passion. He's probably not the most prototypical Richmond player because he's such a rugged interior scorer and a guy who draws fouls at a very high rate, but maybe like Nathan Kao, who we had, who is a little bit different, but can give us some things that we normally lack. So we're all excited for Jaden. He brings a tremendous amount of energy every day, and happy to have him on the Spiders.
So we joked a little bit about Mad Dog Mooney, and you said old dog new tricks, all that. But hey, there's something productive here out of whatever the magic is of Coach Mooney, and that is you had 3 former players become first-time Division I head coaches this off-season. And based on your sports information department is accumulating all this from around the country, but there cannot be many coaches that can be able to say that. We're talking about Zach Chu at Radford, Dan Jeria at Iona, and Kevin Hovde at Columbia. You attended each of their press conferences as well, we understand. what was that like? I mean, I got to imagine there's nothing more satisfying than when you're a spectator for guys that you coached.
Yeah, really exciting. You know, I think over the years I probably tried to talk all of them out of going into coaching during their time at Richmond. But no, it was really exciting to see those guys. They handled themselves extremely well at the press conference, and it was a great celebration. You know, in coaching, there are just so few jobs. You know, there are so few jobs to be able to get a head coaching job, and for them to have achieved that while their coach is still at their alma mater is exciting. And I wanted to be part of it, and hope those guys do great. We're not going to schedule them, but we hope those guys do great.
Well, we hope the Spiders do great this year. We appreciate both you guys, and good luck to your Phillies in Red October.
Yes, here we go.
Thanks,
Here we go.
guys.
Thanks very much, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you
There's the
guys.
Richmond Spiders stopping by.